Look how sticky it is. That's not good. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Sean with Emerald Coast Digitizing. I digitize home movies here in Pensacola, Florida. If you need someone to do this for you, give me a shout. Check out the website. It's emeraldcoastdigitizing.com because I really want to flip this motor upside down and bring it in from the bottom. That way I can fit this whole thing in this box package. I did everything on the bad side of the box because this side of the box looks really clean. So I'm going to redo this whole setup. Should come apart and go back together pretty easy now that I have all the holes drilled where they need to be. I can use that as a template and just stamp it on the back of this. I just have to figure out a way to flip this motor around without messing it up, because this motor needs to be turned upside down to fit in this box, which shouldn't be too hard. I might just have to build a little bracket for it and then make a maybe some JB weld. This definitely has to go. You can see where I screwed in the screw ports. I had to even knock this down a little bit to make it fit in this box. It just barely fits in there. Alright, now that we have proof of concept, I went ahead and took the motor out, and then I put a hole through the bottom of the motor housing with this soldering iron, and now I can stick the motor up and get it on the motor here. And now that should Alright, so here's the plan. I'm going to cut this top part off and try to JB weld it to the bottom, because this will definitely work. I could JB weld the motor to the plastic, but just in case I need to replace the motor at some point, I want to make it to where I can. So what I'm going to try to do, and once I do this, it should make this whole thing flat and I can fit it in the box the way I want to. So the idea is to take the soldering iron. And come all the way around this piece here and create myself a new motor housing. So this will still, hopefully this will end up being my motor housing, just from the other side. So let me see if I can get that done. I can't really do this with a GoPro because it just gets in my way, but that's the idea. I'm gonna take this piece off the top and JB weld it on the bottom, and hopefully we'll be good to go. I had my fan on. My fan's loud because of soldering iron melting plastic here, but I've removed this piece. I cut it in half and I flipped the box over, and now I'm going to line that up, and I'm going to use this quick setting JB weld epoxy to hopefully set this in place and get it right the first time, and then I can rehouse this entire thing. Whew, let's see what happens. I really can't, I really don't think I can do this with the GoPro on my way. So far, this piece cut in half. Just got to JB weld it there, and then the motor will sit in. This is quick set, so it's starting to set now. Alright guys, I've got it all set up. I got the motor mount bonded on there. Gonna let it dry for a little bit. But this is pretty much all that I have left of the rewinder. And the reason why I kept this part is because this belt system, it just works. It works right, it works well, so I want to stick with it. So I'm going to clean this thing up a little bit. I'm going to use my template that I had for this. I'm going to flip this box over and I'm going to build it off that template. Hopefully everything will go together nice and clean. We'll see. Been working on this thing, I think all together about 2 hours, 2.5 hours all together. So not too bad. Once I got the idea in my head, I knew pretty much what I needed to do to make it happen. But then I found these boxes here, and this is kind of like, I couldn't figure out how I wanted to do this. And this thing just happens to be the perfect size for it. So we're going to make that work for us. And going to go ahead and put this together. But yeah, I just wanted to show you. This is what it looks like. And this came from this rewinder. And it was set up like that in the rewinder. And that's what I've harvested. Anyways, we'll keep this video going. All right, we got our stencil. So we're going to flip the whole box over. Like this. Yes. I think that will be nice. Maybe we'll put it right there. All right, I'm back. This is what I got so far. Everything's in here, everything's hooked up. That was the thing dropping off. That's pretty much it. This is just a placeholder. I've got to figure out a way to mount those bolts. I'm going to get some shorter ones. They don't need to be that long, obviously. So I need some shorter bolts, but that's ones I had. I'm working with just stuff I have around. I haven't actually bought anything for this build. I just happened to already have the rewinder. I had the VHS shelf. I had all the screws and bolts. That's why they're all different shapes and sizes. But we're going to go ahead and give this thing a shot just to test the actual usability of the thing. But my mom left a bunch of my VHS tapes out in the garage. Well, they were inside, and she put them out there years ago, and I found them recently, and they're all moldy. I've got an entire shelf full. They're all moldy, all my DBZ tapes. Ugh, but we're gonna take a look at them and see. Let's see if this does anything for them. Tapes are definitely in bad shape. You can't leave tapes in the garage or in the attic. Luckily, these aren't home movies. These are just some stuff that I actually paid money for years ago. God, they're in such bad shape. They're like stuck in that shape. There we go. All right, let's try this again. This will be much easier when those are shorter. All right, so let's put it in reverse. Let's go forward with it first. Nice and easy, trying it out. I think this tape has sticky shed, so I need to adjust this pad. All right, everything's working. Let me do an adjustment to this pad real quick. So everything doesn't seem to be perfectly leveled. So I should be able to make an adjustment. You can just see that sticky shed. Look at that. Well, it's not shedding, but look how sticky it is. That's not good. Well, let's just go ahead and do a pass. Eventually I'll upgrade the motor and make it a little faster, but it's as fast as it goes at this point. It's nice for it to be like one thing. And I know you can buy these guys. I talked to the guy. He's overseas somewhere. I can't remember exactly, but I talked to the guy about buying one. And I just didn't pull the trigger on it. I really just wanted to try to make one myself. But we'll see if this thing works, which I think it's going to. So far it looks pretty clean on the left side. And this is without any cleaners, so it's going pretty good. I've got a customer who just a box full of moldy tape, so I need to put something together a little better than what my last setup was. The last setup worked fine, but this will be much easier and cleaner. It's been a fun little project for sure. It's actually fairly easy to pull it all together. Just had to cut the VCR out. I gotta figure out a better way to trim the plastic off that thing, but now I know exactly where it needs to be cut, so I can order 5 or 6 of them and make a few of these. Make quick work with some tapes that way. Gotta keep your eye on it though, because if this thing full speed hits the end, it's gonna blow up. Alright, we're at the very end. It definitely knocked the mold off. Still tons of mold on it. But there is just the one pad. And it did knock off a few bits. No, it's definitely white mold. But I think you can try like a wet pass. Really just diverting the tape around, freeing up the stickiness, and then it's running across the top of the tape is running across this like the drum of the VCR. So hopefully that cleans it off pretty good. It's a little loud, but it's working great.